I was watching an amazing movie the other day, Mirror by Tarkovsky.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's a great movie.
Probably his best.
It, yeah, I mean, I think I'm like my favorite's probably Stalker, but that's like a subjective, personal favorite.
Yeah.
Objectively, I think Mirror's his best. Objectively,
Yeah.
And that's like a movie that's, you know, it's not like a hero cycle or any of that bullshit. I always assumed that great stories were not first off, not hero. I don't want to say that. I always thought great art or great stories was human being gets challenged. That's what I always assumed. I thought that's what made a great story. A person has a developed worldview, and then that gets challenged, and then we see their development. That's what I always thought made a good story. And I'm curious if you agree with that posit or
not. To a certain degree, there's a movie by Robert Bresson called O Hussar Balthazar, which is about the life and death of a donkey. And the donkey is the main character, and he goes through 4 or 5 main vignettes in a 2-hour movie, has some owners, and we see the sufferance of this donkey. And at the end of the movie, it seems like he's about to die, but the movie ends before he actually dies. Well, that's a great film. And if you watch it, you know, art really, I have said, translates reality, translates the cosmos. If you are reading Moby Dick, or you're watching a Bresson or a Bergman film, or Akira Kurosawa, who is a fabulous filmmaker, you watch something and you can watch a Kurosawa movie that's a comedy about these dopey Japanese idiots from 800 years ago, and you learn something about the human element. You learn something about humor. You learn something about how people interact with each other, and that gives you an insight in how to live better. Great art and, for example, great literature teaches you to read better, and if you can read better, then you can think better. And if you can think better, then you can make decisions better, whether they're which lever to pull for whatever candidate or party that you're supporting, or whether you're going to go to a church, or going to be an atheist or an agnostic, or whether you're going to do this, that, you know, is this girl who makes your heart flutter, is she the one that you want to spend your life? You make decisions better when you know how to think. And art makes you think. This is one of the reasons why the idea of art as a primarily emotional engagement is wrong. Because think about anything that you've watched. Ingmar Bergman. Bergman doesn't move me emotionally, not in an immediate sense.
Really?
But I can watch a movie like The Virgin Spring. I don't know if have you watched The Virgin Spring?
I have not.
Okay, there's a great scene, and it's not one of his better films, where Max von Sydow, one of his main character actors, is playing a knight whose daughter has been raped and killed. And he goes to the spring, the brook where his daughter was killed, and he's looking down on it. And the camera is back maybe about 25, 30 feet from him. And all we see is this knight with his back turned, and we see his body slowly slumping. We don't see his face. We don't see his eyes. We don't hear his crying. This is not a Hollywood movie. But in the slow slump of his body, this powerful man whose daughter has been brutalized and killed, we get that we know what he's going through. And that is an emotional moment that maybe is not going to affect you right away like a tearjerker film might, you know, some rom-com. But you're going to remember that moment long after you've even forgotten the name of that rom-com, because of the way it's presented, the way that it slowly seeps into you. And it gets in through your mind, because you're saying, why did, you know, I saw that movie 3 weeks ago. I can't get that scene out of my mind. Why is that? But what touches you intellectually will inevitably seep down into the emotions, because the intellect is what makes us human. It's not emotions. I was coming across a woman I once knew, and she's one of these people that love is the only thing that matters. Bullshit. My cats can love. Animals can love. But animals cannot create art. Animals do not create the Great Pyramids. Animals do not send other animals to the moon. Animals do not contemplate, look in the mirror and say, what am I? Why am I here? What is this thing called reality? Animals can't do that. Humans have the intellect to do that. And there are there are intelligent animals, crows and whales and apes and whatnot, but they're not in our league. Now, that has its problems because intellect, the more complex something gets, the more can go wrong. So you don't have animals that's totally psychopathic as some of our leads. Yes, you have chimpanzees and other animals that are violent, but not deliriously violent the way we are. But anyway, it is the intellect that art is primarily intellectual intercourse. It is communication at its highest level.